Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. So I've already started to shuffle the decks, but we have the Wisdom of the Oracle. We have the Fountain Tarot with a very obliterated book, and we have this last deck that is a love lyric tarot deck. Very curious to see what comes out of this for this particular reading. So I've already started to shuffle, and some cards came out. The Death card, the Three of Swords card, and the Ten of Pentacles card. I think there's something that's really going to make an awesome turnaround for you that is something long term. This could actually deal with pentacles, right? This could be heartbreak, this could be financial loss. But I do think that it's something that will stabilize for you, whether it be your financial situation or the love of your life coming in and building a family. And that there is an ending to this sense of loss that you've been feeling over and over again. The card that also popped out is the Clean It Up card. I don't feel that this is you needing to clean something up. I feel like this is Spirit telling us that they're going to do the cleanup in the physical world because you have been doing the actual internal work here. And now it's time for them to do their end of the bargain, clear things up in your life because you've made a path for all of these things. It's time for this long-term abundance to flourish. And again, I want to say this as I shuffle, and then I go on my little monologue rants, but I feel that many people beat themselves up, especially those in this collective. If you are like me, you are someone who puts in the work. You're constantly doing the work. You're overwhelmed because you think it always has to all fall on you. And Spirit is like, let me help you. Let me help you. I really feel like you have been doing the work and they are gonna, or you have been continually doing the work, like just showing up every day, doing your best, even when nothing is happening. And Spirit's like, we are gonna clean this up for you. We're gonna clean up this proverbial mess for you, right? What kind of a mess is my life in right now? Well, nothing's moving, or nothing has moved, or everything's fallen apart. And now you're in that blank canvas stage where you're overwhelmed because you don't know what comes next. What else here, Spirit, with the cleanup card? Things are going to start to move with a fast, fiery assurance. Again, that card speaks of action is required on your part, which I just think means you have to accept it. Like, you have to accept the blessings, but things are just going to pop off and roll through. Imagine. New life. New life. It's happening. You can't stop it. One of my favorite things is ominous positivity, where you just kind of say to yourself, like, success has no choice but to find me, right? There is no other alternative at this point. And it just becomes this kind of ominous, funny way of saying, I'm ready for my success. It's here. It's on its way. I can't stop it. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to try. So I think that's the energy here. There's some ominous positivity. Your time of loss is over. It's already done. The worst is behind you. Now you're building something new. Clarify the building blocks. So really building something from the ground up. And think about once your energetics are on a whole new level, you've cleared out the codes that were holding you back or that was holding your family back, you are able to build something completely different. And I'm thinking of the most obvious of what does your family system look like, or what did it look like, and what are you building? I don't know about you, but I want to build something very different than what I experienced in my family. There was good and there was bad, but I know what I want to build upon. And the building blocks of, really feeling loved and cherished as a mother, as a wife, and sharing that with my children because everything was built on the proper foundation. Because again, everything had to be ripped down to the studs, and you are rebuilding this into something that is beautiful, that doesn't require healing from. Building a family that does not require you to heal from being a part of it. That's powerful. All right, this deck, Shut Up and Dance, Walk the Moon. So again, these cards are not necessarily about romance. They have like a deeper overarching meaning. But this is really kind of talking about that you can stop healing and start living your life. That feels like something that so many people need to hear. You're going to be able to start living your life because you put in a decade at least of healing. I feel like so many of us, I'm in my late 30s, pushing up against 40, and that time frame in my 30s, after I divorced my husband, there was, it was not a bad divorce in any way, but 10 years since then, I'm just kind of healing and growing, and it's a lot. So this is just, my story is just one of many stories. What is your story? What have you been doing the last decade to do the work? And now you're finally being able to rebuild. I think this means we're going to start to see families that are built later in life, couples coming together in their late 30s, early 40s, having children. I think this will become a new normal in this next generation for those of us who either never had kids and waited to find the right person, kissed a lot of proverbial frogs, or I don't know what the female equivalent of that would be. But the point is, we've put in the time, and we've seen many things fall away. And now we actually get to live that life that we've seen many other people live. Why couldn't I just have a normal family? Why couldn't I just build something normal? Because nothing you were building in the last 10 years was supposed to be on solid ground. And that hurts to say because I feel it. And as I started to dive more into spirituality, more into healing, teaching more classes, meeting more people, I realized that my story was not unique. So I say this as like, I am one of many people who have this story. You probably have something similar in your backstory. So what does that mean? It means that a lot of souls in our soul cluster, right, are coming together now to actually step up into the world and become the quote adults that are needed in this time space reality. And I think it requires a completely different type of human, a completely different type of adult, a completely different type of parent, a completely different type of partner, a completely different type of boss. Okay? And that is you. That is who you have spent the last at least 10 years becoming. Now is our time. And I say that as someone who feels this. 2 or 3 of my friends have recently been married and had kids in their early 40s, pushing into their mid 40s. And I think it's so beautiful. What an awakened adult is like, 2 loving divine partners having a child. What energy is that putting into the world? These are going to be little super angel babies. This is a beautiful time to rebuild the structure of society, to build not a quote softer culture, but a more integrated, a more intentional world. And I think that this is a really, really important time for the world at large. Open arms. Beautiful. Unexpected reunion may be coming. Forgiveness leading to a second chance. Offer your heart without conditions. So again, this is just kind of saying, let that new life in. And this could actually be a reconciliation with a person, nod to a previous reading, but this could also just be you're stepping into a new life, a new time frame. You're going to meet people that are like you, that are starting families later in life, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know you people were out here. And they're like, yeah, we didn't know you people were out here. And you feel that sense of camaraderie with people where you really start to understand, oh, we're the ones that are rebuilding society. We're the ones that are having these children when we know what it was like to not be understood as children. We were born a little early into that, like leading to a deeper intentional world. We were born early, so we were very misunderstood, but we've lived through enough of it that we're seeing children born now are really changing what companies are offering. We are seeing through the corruption of a lot of large systems, and we're just not taking it anymore. So things are being forced into change. The children that we have now from divine partnerships, okay, it's, I say this as like thinking, don't get wrapped up into thinking I'm special, right? I'm going to have this this one super powered angel baby. No, I'm talking about thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands of us who are late bloomers, who are having children later in life, going through all of this. Think about how fast the collective is going to shift. I mean, the majority of people being born now are being born with parents that really do understand how to raise children. We're studying the psychology of it. We're studying the neurology of young children, of how they need to learn and grow. And we're getting so good at raising humans now. And I think to myself, this will lead to a much more balanced future, even in as soon as 20 years. Because, if you have a child now, 20 years, 21 years from now, they're going to be out in the world doing. They're going to be so capable, and they're going to be so wise, and they're going to have such grounded foundation, and they're going to be loved. We are making a supercharged army of amazing humans. That's what's happening. I'm just putting it out there. Unconditional love. You're accepted without conditions, and someone is falling for your natural self. Let yourself be known, flaws and all. So this is also that authenticity that leads us forward. This is so beautiful. I'm going to pull one more card. One more card. Wildest dreams. So I think this is two things. This is acknowledging that painful past, the Three of Swords, the not being understood. But this is stepping into something new. This is, maybe your family didn't understand you, but you sure as hell are going to make sure that your kids feel understood and loved and cherished. That's what we're stepping into. And again, maybe that's just adopting a bunch of animals and allowing those wounded animals to feel loved and cared for. It doesn't have to be a human child. Very aware that it does not have to be a human child. But this time of healing, of mending for us is happening. And we are building something that our children and the next generations do not have to heal from. That's what this reading is talking about. I'm blown away. This is so powerful. Thank you for being here. I hope this reading had value, and until next time, have a beautiful day.